They do everything.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Think Business. Looking forward to talking with Adam Lutz and Matt Sosin. Fellas, it's good to see you both. Excited for your venture of Ace Pickleball here in Bloomfield and another one in Grand Rapids. The company is 23 operating pickleball units, and they're growing to 50 or 60 in the next 15, 16 months. So pickleball is the biggest craze. Everybody I know, I would say 80% of people that I talk to are playing pickleball. Places are, taking their tennis courts and making more pickleball courts sometimes than they are tennis. And so let's just kind of talk a little bit about pickleball and the craze. And so when did you guys decide to dive in?
Well, as real estate guys, Matt had a building tied up in Royal Oak, which was an industrial building. How big was it, Matt?
It was about 60,000 square feet.
And so it was a going vacant, Matt, and we were trying to determine what was going on there.
It was an old manufacturing facility, and it was in a great location. It had all of the things you need for a pickleball facility. It had the parking we needed. It had the ceiling heights we needed, and it had the column spacing that we needed to fit all of the courts. And so while that deal didn't end up happening from a real estate perspective, it got Adam and I thinking about what other uses we could have for the building. And we came up with pickleball pretty quickly because it just was a natural fit. That's kind of how it started with a real estate play, and then ended up with pickleball.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that one didn't work. But based on the conversations, we started a research because it was, they're being announced of who was going to start growing in the indoor pickleball space. And so we interviewed a few of them, and we chose Ace Pickleball Club because they had a background in doing other franchises prior. They did iFly Zone, they did trampoline parks. I think there was a third, but they had the team in place and they had experience of how to, deliver the space. They had specs, plans, they had a team in terms of operations and manuals and systems. So it wasn't that Matt and I just decided to open pickleball and wing it. We had a good direction playbook to work from.
Yeah.
And we signed up for certain rights in Michigan two years ago, a little over 2 years ago.
Over 2 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, and we it took us, I don't even know, more than a year to even locate a property that worked, because there isn't a lot of big box retail vacancy in the Metro Detroit area because no one's building new in the area that we live, and a lot of the locations we did find didn't have the column spacing or the ceiling heights that were necessary to make them work. So, it took a while until we were contacted by a friend who was leasing a facility out in Grand Rapids called Centerpoint, which is a mall that's kind of demalled and made a power center. But there was a trampoline park that was ready to go out of business, and they called us, and we made a deal pretty quickly to move forward in Grand Rapids first.
You guys are real estate guys, and so you're in the business of delayed gratification. But for those who are kind of listening and thinking, hey, the franchise model seems really interesting. I actually I had a podcast today. I interviewed Gary Reamer. He's an attorney with Madden Hauser, and he leads the franchise group. So it's like we talk to everything kind of franchise, but somebody who's listening to this and thinking, and we'll get back to pickleball in a second, and somebody's thinking, hey, really, like, what are the steps to making sure you pick the right franchise, the right group? And to your story, how patient do I have to be to actually, find the right spot, the right space? I mean, that's that's a lot of work for people who think that just getting a franchise is plug and play.
One of the things, in addition to having, I think, probably more now, but at the time they had over 75 years of franchise experience collectively on the team, which was way more than any of the other, kind of pickleball franchises that you would know. And the other thing that I think Adam and I liked about them was that a lot of them were real estate. We're on the real estate side of the trampoline parks and the real estate side of the iFly. So they spoke a similar language that Adam and I did. But they had, even from the beginning, they had really detailed pitch decks where I could show you exactly what the space was going to look like. And that's really what it ended up looking like. So they had a design team so that we knew when we looked at a space, we could very quickly decide if it was worth pursuing or not. Because if there was a broker would come to us with a space, and if we could only get, say, like 6 or 7 courts, it wasn't worth even pursuing. And that was something that they could do for us. And they had all the branding ready to go. All of those things for Adam and I to recreate would have taken us way longer, in addition to finding a space. So we were able to kind of focus on finding a space, and they were able to focus on building kind of the back end, the operations side of it, which has been crucial for us.
Yeah. So, let's talk about that, the back end and the operations. And so, I think a lot of times I've interviewed a lot of franchise people on this podcast, and, a lot of times, sometimes people forget about the actual operations end of things. It looks really fun to kind of come in, be part of a franchise. Some people think until they get into it that it's an easier path. Not always. There's a lot of moving parts, no matter how much, like you talk about, they have everything teed up on a silver platter, but you still got to do the work. You still got to run the business. And so can you talk a little bit about kind of the team that you put in place to kind of help you, look at, the front of the business and the back side of the back of the business?
Well, first of all, Matt has an extensive background in construction, which was really key to us delivering the space quickly and how they were looking for it to be developed. One of the things with delivering it is the ramp up before you open. And so Ace Pickleball Club has a whole program that you hire the manager, assistant manager, and then you go out into Roswell, which is their headquarters, and you spend a full week training and learning how to be the manager, assistant manager, how to train the staff, how to work the point of sale systems, how to market, how to work the marketing online and everything. So there's extensive training by them that really gets you up and running day one that we wouldn't have had otherwise. But the staff in Grand Rapids, we have 20 people at any time. Again, as a manager, assistant manager, different roles. We have these team leads that are out marketing or going to the outdoor pickleball courts, which out there is Melknap, which is major. So it is a collective effort. It's a lot of people to manage and to show up timely, which today's world is not always a given. So it takes a collective effort. We do have someone that kind of oversees for us both locations, and they're busy right now opening our Bloomfield location, which opens on Saturday, the 25th.
Nice.
So, I would say, John, I don't know if the franchise or if we had created all this ourselves, is it easier, right? Adam and I and our managers and our assistant managers and have worked really, really hard. I think what it maybe does is it reduces your mistakes, right? You don't always have to learn on the fly, right? There's somebody else there who's your partner, who has procedures, who has which metrics you should focus on, and has all of the the KPIs and everything that you want running a business. They've already have those, and I think maybe that's what it is. But I don't know if I would call what Adam and I have done so far easy. That's for sure.
No, I don't think there's anything easy. Yeah. What I would say was, I think sometimes people say, "Oh, I want to start a business, I'll start a franchise," but they don't realize how difficult it is. It's still a business.
Yeah. You're still starting a business, exactly.
Right, still starting a business from the ground up. Well, let's
John,
talk.
have them give us a call first before they make this.
You'll advise them, right? Wait,
One other thing, John, before you go on. So when we interviewed several of the franchises early on, there was these eatery pickleball concepts that were going to be huge and, you know, make it fun, but food, bars, drinks. And we knew right away we didn't want to manage it, you know, a pizza oven and a bar staff. And so we just wanted pickleball. And the franchisor, their model is open play, which if you go to any open courts outside that are large, that's the model that really gets people in. They go in, they meet people, they get on group emails or whatever they do, chats, and hey, you're going to be there at 2. Oh yeah, no, I'll be there at 3. And you show up, and you don't have to arrange a game of regular of 4 people. Someone might like not show, someone gets sick, you're filling in. So we do have some court time reservations, but the concept is everyone at every age and level, from beginner to advanced, has people to go and meet and play at their level with. So that was really something that drew us to this franchise.
I think it's great. And I think if you look back, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, the whole foundation of pickleball, you know, it starts in 1965 with 3 guys who are playing a game. They kind of have this makeshift court with, you know, improvising with paddles and a plastic ball. And it starts with like 3 best friends. You know, I think it was on, like, they did a whole segment on it. I think it was 60 Minutes or, you know, one of the programs. You know, it kind of started out with 3 people just having fun and playing. And so do you think, I mean, I love open play. I love going to pickleball open play. It's fun. You get to kind of get a lot of games in. It's challenging. It's fun to play with new people. I mean, I wonder how much kind of the foundation of the energy of these guys who started the game has to do with kind of the spirit of just the game itself. What do you think about that, Matt?
I think that's 100% right. And that was another thing that Adam and I liked about Ace Pickleball Club, that's what they wanted to get back to, kind of the original inclusive, that pickleball can be something for everybody, right? It can be for seniors, it can be for teenagers, it can be for a 30-year-old, it could be for beginners, it can be for advanced, and those people could be in the same place and in the same community. And and that was something that's something very important to kind of the Ace Pickleball Club mantra. And that was something that Adam and I were very much attracted to with the Ace guys.
Yeah. How do you guys market yourselves? You know, it seems like there's, you know, pickleball seems to be all the craze right now, and you know, everywhere you look, there's tennis courts that are pickleball courts. I don't particularly love playing on those myself because I think it gets confusing. And the net game is totally different. But how do you, as a business in general, especially one like pickleball, how do you market yourself? And you shared a lot of ways that it differentiates, which I think is great. But how do you get people in the door, and then how do you get them to stay?
I can talk about how we get people to stay, you know, more than the market, but I think the emphasis is on club. For us, that it is membership based. You are a member of a club. We limit the amount of members that we have so we're at around like maybe 90 per court. So you're never waiting too long for a game because it is a open play model, and because you're a member of this club, you can come anytime for as long as you want. So some people want to come for 45 minutes, and they need to be able to get as many games in 45 minutes as they can because they're on a lunch break or they're going back to work. And so, you know, it's about not waiting for courts, and it's about service, more like a concierge, you know, level of pickleball. We have a cart that has, you know, like cleaning cloths for your glasses. We'll rewrap your paddle if it gets dirty. We have pickleballs. You know, we switch them out so they're always new. You know, we take new people who, it can be pretty intimidating walking into, it's there's a lot of people there, it's loud, it can be intimidating. So our member specialists are there to kind of welcome you in, get you in the right games, making sure you're playing with the right people. And I would say that I know for a fact in Grand Rapids, all of our employees know everybody's name. I mean, they know every single person coming in. They know how they play. They know who they like to play with, and it's about service.
Yeah. I love that. Let's talk about the floor. Let's talk about the floor. I feel like Ace, I did a little bit of research. You guys seem to spend a lot of money on having the right floor. I say that because when I play, I'm 53. When I play on concrete, I can't walk the next day. So talk a little bit about the Ace floor.
Matt, I'll let you talk more about it.
So it's a professional level court. As you said, it has the correct lines. We have the correct amount of space in between the out of bounds lines and the fencing. All of our fencing has padding on it. But what you're talking about is the floor construction itself. So it's I believe 7 layers of resin and sand alternating to create a floor that's soft on your feet and your knees and your hips, but hard enough that the ball moves the way that you want it to. And so Ace Pickleball Club has spent a lot of time and research on getting the right section and the right floor construction. So yes, it's very, very important to us. The color of the floor is very important. So that's, kind of professional level. We have a black strip that runs along the whole perimeter so that you're not losing the ball when you're playing. Our lighting is kind of state-of-the-art lighting for pickleball, so that you're not, there's very little glare when you're playing. So all these things that we, that Ace Pickleball Club and that we're thinking about.
It's great. Sounds amazing.
It is. Thank you, John.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to play there. So, all right. So you got these locations. What's next?
Well, we're just opening our second one in like 3 days, so
yeah,
let's do that first, and then. But we do want to expand more in the greater Detroit area. I mean, our goal is to open several more for scale. So
yeah,
we're looking now. We have a site we're looking at, but we still want to see how the next month or two go before we pull the trigger.
Yeah. Well, I think it sounds great. I think it sounds exciting. I think it sounds like a totally different model, and it sounds really player centric, and make it easy. And so, is there? And again, if you don't want to, you don't need to. But do you want to talk what the investment is for somebody to come join for a month to have this concierge service? Like, how does that work?
Well, one of our goals is to get beginners to come out. We rolled this out a couple weeks ago in Grand Rapids, and the classes are full. And it's called the Starter Series, and you sign up for I think it's like $29.
Yes, $29.
Yeah, $29, and that gets you several lessons. You have some time to take them, but it seems like they've all been full every lesson with 8 people. They meet people, and then those are the people that join and want to stay there as they grow their game. So that's what you call stickiness, and that's really when you build up a long-term group that wants to stay there.
It's great. Good. All right. Well, I'm excited to play there, fellas. I'm excited to play there. Let's talk about, real quickly before we finish. Let's talk about business partners. Choosing business partners is always an art, and having the right business partner is really, really important. Talk about what's the secret to your business partnership?
No, we've been partners for 7 years. Our first deal we did was a conversion of a historic office building in Detroit, the Albert Kahn building, to luxury apartments. Lift and a lot of work, and the construction was slowed by COVID, which created a whole set of obstacles and situations you had to, deal with on the fly. And throughout that, Matt and I never had an argument or an issue. We kind of defer to each other on certain strengths. And I think that's the key, is we don't have really overlap too much. And when we do, I don't remember if we've ever not come to a consensus on something. So I think that's the key, is we're friends and we see things the same way. And, how do you fit together and your strengths?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Matt, any thoughts?
Yeah, I would say we're friends first and partners second. I think that's important, and we both value that. And we do have different, we're good at different things. We're not as good at different things, and I think we really complement each other really well.
It's great.
And it's been fun.
Fellas, tell everybody how, the website, where they can join, all that stuff.
Yeah, so the website, acepickleballclub.com. You just go down to the Bloomfield location. You can sign up right away to be on the email list. If people sign up quickly, we have 30 days free. That goes just to the first month's over. And then it's $119 a month in Bloomfield. And the $119 covers everything. You don't pay for one more thing. It's kind of like a Planet Fitness model. We have ball machines you can rent. We got a dink court you can play on. We're going to have different tournaments. You can, round robin tournaments. And then ACE has a national competition where each club at different levels, you go through a competition, and whoever wins gets to go to the national ACE pickleball finals, if you will, in Roswell. So there's lots of things that keep people get involved in, how they meet people, whatever level they are. And, it's all inclusive, which is, I think, a great model for people to, take advantage of.
Yeah. Sounds great. Good. All right. Well, I'm excited to play in Bloomfield, but I just want to say one more thing. They can go to Grand Rapids. They can join, any location. We're talking here locally. We're opening Bloomfield. You guys are opening Bloomfield.
Yes.
But at the website, they can look at all locations. If you belong to one location, can you play at other locations?
There are certain. They're working on that, I believe.
Okay. For the next podcast, that's the cliffhanger for the next podcast. Yes. All right. Well, fellas, I appreciate it. Think community. If you haven't played pickleball, now's a great time to try it. Looks like beginner classes are filling up, and they're great. I'm excited. I think one of the things that's always so frustrating is when you have to, pay a monthly fee and then $5 for this and $15 for that and $6 for this. I love your model. I love the concierge because seems like they'll do everything for you. So congrats, fellas, on 2 years of really hard work to get this up and running. Excited to see it. And the community, thanks, everybody. All right. Thanks, fellas.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.